Many seasoned preppers know that openly displaying or discussing their self-defense gear can draw unwanted attention. That's why many turn to hidden or unconventional tools that can be just as effective without standing out. One of the most commonly hidden self-defense tools is the tactical pen. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary writing instrument, but it's made from hardened aluminum or steel, capable of shattering glass or being used for close quarters defense. Its discreet design allows it to pass through daily environments unnoticed, carried in shirt pockets, clipped to notebooks, or kept in glove compartments. Another hidden tool often overlooked by outsiders is the cane sword or tactical walking stick. These items serve dual purposes: support for walking or balance, and as a concealed weapon in emergencies. A cane sword, in particular, can carry a hidden blade within the shaft, giving its user a surprise advantage if confronted. While not legal in every state, those who can use them understand the power of a defense tool that blends into everyday life. Pepper gel is another favorite among seasoned preppers because it's less likely to blow back in windy conditions compared to spray. Even more discreet are pepper gel pens and keychain versions that look like harmless accessories but can disable an attacker instantly. These items are often stashed in places like vehicle consoles, bedside drawers, or inside survival pouches without drawing attention. It's not just about carrying gear, it's about carrying it *smart*. Preppers understand that in many crisis scenarios, you may not want others to know you're armed. Discretion can be a matter of life or death. For instance, during mass evacuations or civil unrest, being visibly armed might make you a target for theft or worse. But having something hidden, like a reinforced belt buckle with defensive capabilities, gives you a silent edge. These self-defense tools are not just about brute force. They are about buying time, escaping danger, and surviving another day. That's why preppers don't always advertise them. The rule is simple: the more vital the item, the less it should stand out. And when things go bad, it's these hidden tools, the ones nobody sees coming, that can make all the difference between becoming a victim and walking away alive. Water is the foundation of life, and every experienced prepper knows that it's one of the first things to become scarce in a crisis. But what many don't talk about is the gear they secretly rely on to secure clean, drinkable water when municipal systems fail or natural sources become contaminated. At the top of that hidden list is the portable water filter straw. Compact, lightweight, and capable of filtering out bacteria and protozoa from rivers, lakes, and even puddles. This tool is often tucked away in bug-out bags or glove compartments. It's not flashy, and that's the point. It works quietly and effectively when you need it most. Even more discreet are water purification tablets. They're small enough to be hidden in a tiny pouch, wallet, or first aid kit, but they can purify liters of water with just one dose. Preppers don't often broadcast their stash of these because they're high-value items in a crisis and incredibly easy to barter. Having them and not flaunting them can be a tactical decision, ensuring your survival without inviting desperation-driven theft from others. Collapsible water containers are another under-discussed gem. They're often kept folded away until needed, making them ideal for stealthy storage in vehicles, under beds, or inside bug-out caches. When water access opens up, whether from a hidden spring or an emergency relief point, these containers allow you to quietly collect and transport much more than a canteen ever could. Rain catchment gear also falls into the category of hidden in plain sight. Foldable rainwater collection systems or even improvised setups using tarps and funnels can be disguised as camping gear or tucked away in garages. In rural or suburban environments, the ability to collect and filter rainwater gives preppers an enormous survival advantage. Most preppers avoid advertising these tools because water scarcity makes people act irrationally. If neighbors or strangers know you have a water solution, you could quickly become a target. So, they hide their gear not out of paranoia, but out of prudence. These water tools aren't just about staying hydrated. They're about staying alive, staying under the radar, and staying prepared. That's why true survivalists keep their water solutions quiet, efficient, and hidden, until the moment they're needed most. Another crucial item preppers often keep quiet about is a reliable multi-tool. While many boast about their knives or firearms, the multi-tool is the unsung hero of countless survival situations. It combines several essential tools into a single, compact unit that can be easily concealed in a pocket, belt pouch, or hidden compartment. The beauty of a multi-tool is its versatility. Pliers, screwdrivers, wire cutters, scissors, can openers, and mini saws all packed into one device. This quiet workhorse allows you to fix a generator, repair shelter materials, open cans, or even remove splinters without ever needing a full toolbox. Why don't preppers talk about it much? Because it's such a core piece of their kit that they assume everyone else already knows. But the truth is, many beginners overlook it in favor of flashier gear. Veterans of the prepping world understand that when chaos erupts, flexibility is everything. A multi-tool offers dozens of uses in both urban and rural collapse scenarios. And because it doesn't scream tactical, it won't draw unwanted attention the way a big survival knife or axe might. Some preppers even stash more than one multi-tool, one in the bug-out bag, one in the vehicle, and one in a secure cache-in, ensuring they're never far from a basic but powerful survival advantage. These tools are also easy to hide, pass through crowds unnoticed, and can be carried daily without raising eyebrows, unlike larger survival items. In tight situations where you need to escape, repair, or improvise, the multi-tool becomes your best friend. There's also a psychological reason this tool remains under the radar. In survival culture, there's often more attention paid to the dramatic, firearms, food stockpiles, or elaborate bunkers. The multi-tool doesn't make headlines, but it gets the job done. That's why seasoned preppers rarely discuss it. They quietly rely on it while others are distracted by gear that looks impressive but isn't nearly as adaptable in real-world emergencies. Ultimately, the multi-tool represents the prepper mindset, quiet capability, readiness without showboating, and the ability to adapt under pressure. It's the silent operator in a noisy world, something to be valued, protected, and used with intention when it truly counts. Another piece of survival gear that preppers tend to keep under wraps is the Faraday bag. While discussions about solar panels and generators dominate most preparedness forums, experienced preppers know that protecting electronics from an electromagnetic pulse EMP or solar flare is just as critical. A Faraday bag is a specialized container designed to shield electronics from electromagnetic interference. It may look like a simple pouch or duffel, but its layered conductive materials block damaging currents from frying your most vital gear. Preppers rarely talk about this item for one main reason. The concept of EMP protection still feels like science fiction to many, but it's very real and devastating. An EMP can result from a nuclear detonation at high altitude or from intense solar activity. In either case, it can knock out the power grid and destroy all unshielded electronics in an instant. That includes radios, GPS units, solar battery chargers, flashlights, night vision, and even digital documents stored on USB drives. Without protection, all of these can be rendered useless in seconds. Faraday bags provide a compact, affordable solution. They're easy to store, carry, and conceal. Some preppers use them to protect entire backup phones, radios, or power bank, items they plan to rely on only when everything else has gone dark. These bags are light, don't require any power source, and can be stashed anywhere, from a glove box to a buried cache. They don't take up much space, but what they protect could be the difference between surviving and stumbling blindly in the dark. Why are they hidden from discussion? Because the more people know about EMP proofing, the more they'll prepare, and some preppers prefer to keep that advantage to themselves. It's also a matter of discretion. Owning a Faraday bag signals a level of preparedness that goes beyond average prepping, possibly attracting unwanted attention from desperate people when disaster strikes. In a world gone silent, the one person with working comms or navigation becomes a target. Serious preppers quietly integrate Faraday bags into their gear, often placing backups of essential electronics in multiple layers of shielding. It's a silent insurance policy, one they hope never to use but wouldn't dream of being without. Because when the grid collapses, only those who have protected their digital lifelines will still have access to light, communication, and knowledge. Another essential yet often hidden item in a prepper's survival kit is the humble but powerful compact fishing kit. While flashy gear like tactical knives and high-tech water purifiers get all the attention, a well-assembled fishing kit quietly sits tucked into the side pocket of many bug-out bags, waiting to prove its worth when food becomes scarce. This isn't the average rod and reel setup you'd take on a weekend trip. This is minimal, stealthy, and optimized for survival. In a grid-down situation, grocery stores will be stripped bare within days, and canned goods won't last forever. Hunting might not always be an option, either due to scarcity of game, noise restrictions, or legal consequences. That's where fishing comes in, silent, repeatable, and effective. A good fishing kit can provide a renewable source of protein with minimal energy expenditure. This is why seasoned preppers rarely talk about it, because once everyone knows how effective and discreet it is, that advantage is gone. Most survival fishing kits are ultra-compact and contain just the essentials: hooks of various sizes, strong fishing line, sinkers, swivels, and maybe a small hand reel or collapsible rod. Some even include lures, artificial bait, or a small net. These kits can be stashed in a pocket-sized tin, water bottle, or Altoids container and weigh only a few ounces. They're easy to hide, carry, and deploy in a crisis. Preppers who keep these kits secret often have local knowledge of streams, ponds, or hidden fishing spots that aren't on public radar. They're not heading to the crowded public lake. They're heading into the woods to a half-forgotten creek they scouted years ago. The idea is simple: avoid drawing attention, feed yourself quietly, and preserve your other food resources for when nature isn't as generous. Another reason these kits are kept quiet is that they don't cost much. Unlike big-ticket survival gear, a fishing kit can be built for under $20, but its value in a long-term survival scenario is massive. Preppers don't want the unprepared masses rushing to grab every last hook and spool of line off store shelves when crisis strikes. In survival, the quietest tools often carry the most power. The compact fishing kit is a perfect example of this. It's cheap, silent, versatile, and sustainable, exactly the kind of gear seasoned preppers rely on and rarely talk about. Another piece of survival gear that preppers often keep under wraps is the Faraday bag. While most people are focused on food, water, and weapons, veteran survivalists are quietly investing in electromagnetic pulse EMP protection. A Faraday bag or Faraday cage is designed to shield electronic devices from EMP or solar flares that could instantly fry anything with a circuit. It's a layer of insurance that many overlook until it's too late. In today's world, almost everything we rely on has a chip inside it. From phones and GPS units to radios, flashlights, and even some modern firearms, a single EMP could render all of it useless. A widespread EMP event, whether natural or man-made, has the potential to knock out the power grid and cripple communication networks across the country. Preppers understand that if such a catastrophe were to occur, any working electronics could give them a serious edge if protected. That's why the best prepared individuals take steps to store backup devices in Faraday bags. These bags use multiple layers of conductive material to create a shielded environment, preventing electromagnetic fields from penetrating and damaging the contents. Common items stored in Faraday protection include shortwave radios, solar chargers, thumb drives loaded with critical survival documents, spare batteries, LED lights, and sometimes even tablets with offline maps and guides. One reason this gear isn't talked about openly is because of how vulnerable it makes people feel. Admitting that you're protecting devices from a catastrophic EMP is acknowledging a very real, but often dismissed, threat. It's easier for the unprepared to laugh it off than to take action, and preppers who do take it seriously tend to keep their plans private. Additionally, Faraday protection is relatively inexpensive and easy to hide. You can purchase specialized bags or simply make your own using layered mylar, aluminum foil, or metal containers lined with non-conductive material. Many preppers stash these in deep closets, bug-out bags, or even in underground caches to ensure they're not discovered or tampered with. Ultimately, the Faraday bag is one of those survival tools that represents foresight and subtlety. It's not flashy, it won't save your life directly, but in the right moment, it might be the only thing keeping you connected, informed, and one step ahead. That's exactly why it's one of the best-kept secrets in the prepper world.